Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Loki Season 2 is taking shape as a hunt for one of the earliest Kang variants, Victor Timely. Where in the world is Victor Timely? Actually, they did a time version of Carmen Sandiego, so wasn't it Where in Time is Victor Timely? I'm gonna stop singing now. Of all the Kangs we met in the post-credit scenes of Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania, this 1901 Thomas Edison figure with his astounding temporal marvels definitely has us the most curious, as it has now been confirmed to be an actual scene from Season 2 of Loki, written and directed by that crew, not by the Quantumania team, so secretive that Marvel will not even tell us what episode it's from, because that apparently will be a spoiler? Let's just hope it is from the episode that, is actually in the season. We've been tricked before. It hurts, it hurts like getting burned out of time hurts. But Loki and Mobius targeting Victor Timely in particular actually plugs in with a lot of what we know about Loki Season 2 and really provides the missing link that crystallizes the plot structure of the upcoming season. By the way, subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive, where I did an insanely detailed look back into Loki Season 1, and you can support our growing network by grabbing some merch at nerdriot.shop, like something from the Deep Dive collection. Okay, to quickly recap the second post-credit scene, we find ourselves in an early 20th century exhibition hall. I've seen some people call this the 1920s, but I think 1920s is just what people who didn't pay attention during A-Push call anything pre-depression. These aren't flappers, Sonny. This is Victorian era garb, which means turn of the century. We're talking Rose's mom in Titanic, which does line up nicely with the 1901 date that is often used with Victor Timely from the comics. Here, Victor steps out on a stage with an instrument that looks like the rings of an engine all pulled apart, some kind of cylindrical object. Off on the side, a banner reads, Victor Timely and his astounding temporal marvels. Victor says, "Time is everything. It shapes our lives, but perhaps we can shape it." I will admit my impressions of what Jonathan Majors does pales in comparison, but I just love the choices he makes. I cannot help but try to do them myself. But Loki and Mobius are in the crowd, and Loki says, "It's him." Mobius says, "You made him sound like this terrifying figure. Wow." And Loki says, "He is." Peyton Reed confirmed to IndieWire that this is a scene from Loki Season 2, and that Jonathan Majors was going for a period voice, in his words, Frederick Douglass Hare. Frederick Douglass was an abolitionist, a writer, an orator, one of the most prominent men of his time in the late 19th century. In the real world, historical timeline is really the heart of the Loki series. Remember, Season 1 touched on the real-life historical events like the eruption of Mount Vesuvius over Pompeii in 79 AD, the hijacking of Flight 305 by D.B. Cooper in 1971, the urban legend of the USS Eldridge, and the Philadelphia experiment from 1943, and then extrapolated forward into the future to all the natural disasters that will happen over the next 50 years. But now, it seems like Season 2 is going to extrapolate that further back to the way Kang variants have already influenced world history. The interesting thing about Victor Timely is that he is actually one of the disguises that Kang wears, an attempt to hide in plain sight, as opposed to Kang taking on a new out and proud villainous form like Immortus, Pharaoh Rama-Tut, or Scarlet Centurion, who, by the way, that futuristic Kang was confirmed to be based on, according to Peyton Reed, even though he looks absolutely nothing like Scarlet Centurion. But Victor Timely first appeared in the 1992 Captain America Annual Number 11, the Citizen Kang storyline, in which this Kang variant establishes the town of Timely, Wisconsin, and runs it as its mayor, an inventor, an industrialist who specializes in technology and robotics. While he was introducing this advanced tech to the people of Timely, secretly, this Kang was building his base city of Chronopolis just slightly out of sync with the time stream right beside Chronopolis, making it fall within a paradox and be fully undetectable. During this time, Kang's longtime love interest of Ravonna Renslayer begins living with Victor Timely, going under the pseudonym of Rebecca Termine, the same name that, we should note, the Loki finale made sure to display on Renslayer's past life diploma in her school principal office. It's also worth noting that Victor Timely employed a young Dr. Phineas Horton in the comics, Phineas Horton who would one day create the original Human Torch, and that the robotics technology that Victor developed during these years included a failsafe that would later get encoded into every Sentinel, the X-Men hunters, so that later when the government tries to deploy Sentinels during the Kang Dynasty storyline, Kang commandeers these Sentinels and turns them back against Earth. I think all of this is going into Victor Timely in Season 2 of Loki, and this moment with Loki and Mobius will either be the opening scene of the season, maybe the cold open, from which we will flash back into where Season 1 left off in the TVA, or maybe this scene will be the final scene of Season 2 Episode 1, but it's going to be a significant moment. What we don't know yet is whether Victor Timely always existed in MCU history, the one that we've watched, or only now just spawned into existence as a result of Sylvie's actions in the season 1 finale. Both options could be hinted at to be simultaneously true. Like, if my theory is true that Avengers Tower is occupied by Mr. Griffin, CEO of Kang Enterprises, the MCU never really has to state if he was there right after Spider-Man Homecoming, before the events of Loki season 1 occurred or not. It would kind of be hard to even say that, because all of Loki season 1 took place outside of time. There's really a branch extracted from 2012, but even that branch was pruned. Really, everything that happened in Loki took place outside of time and affected all of time at once. But really, the question is, did Victor Timely and the other Kangs influence the other MCU events that we have seen? Well, at least some of them, yes. Rama Tut appeared on that Cairo Kid's jacket in Moon Knight, so the world of Moon Knight was at least in part shaped by Kang. And if they keep that Phineas Horton connection from the comics, Phineas Horton's name appeared alongside Howard Stark at the 1943 Stark Expo in the first Captain America film. So the earliest Stark technology from that era, like think about it, the mysterious Vita rays that were used to enhance Steve Rogers into Captain America, Super Soldier program tech that also gave us the Hulk, all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s weaponry, all Avengers really could be rooted in Victor Timely technology. That is why I think Loki and Mobius are seeking Victor Timely in particular. You know, the other Kangs like Rama Tut, they seek to conquer ancient Egypt and only get so far, but Victor Timely picked the dawn of the 20th century, and he laid low and he got way further just as a man behind the curtain. He is really what set off the chain reaction of events that led to the Super Soldier program, Hydra, the Avengers Initiative, Earth getting in the crosshairs of Thanos, and most importantly for his own existence, Tony Stark cracking the code to time travel with the inverted Mobius strip. Now, I have speculated that Victor Timely in the town of Timely, Wisconsin could actually be the origin of the TVA as we know it. That origin was a big mystery deliberately raised and never answered in season 1.
I'd like all files pertaining to the creation of the TVA.
Those are classified.
I need all the files on the founding of the TVA. Everything from the beginning of time.
Well, that's a mighty tall order. Some things had to get worked out, but I'm downloading the files you need now.
This isn't what I asked for.
I know, but he thinks this'll be more useful.
I believe that Victor Timely might have been an alias used by He Who Remains, which speaks to why he's such a showman on that stage. Like the other Kangs are either really quiet and regal or real rowdy and untamed, but both Victor Timely and He Who Remains are performers who hit their marks. I think the device on that stage might actually be the first prototype of the reset charge, and that Victor Timely will use this to erase the town of Timely out of the timeline and use it to build his TVA. Because notice that Victor Timely, like He Who Remains, bears no facial scarring like most other Kangs do. I think that's because all the others have cybernetic parts. Kang the Conqueror has his neurokinetic implants, Rama Tut, we just saw, is half android, and this could actually explain why Scarlet Centurion was given this weird robotic body. This could all connect to why, when Loki was first processed through the TVA, there was an entire stage devoted to determining whether or not you were a robot. He Remains Victor Timely, not robots. They were the Kang that invented all other robotics that future Avengers and X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Kang Dynasty members use. And so, season 2 of Loki will be a scavenger hunt through history of 20th century American technology in the real world and in the MCU, weapons tech and consumer tech, to show how it all had the signature of one man. Hey, a reminder to subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive, and you can support us by grabbing some merch over at nerdriot.shop. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Erik Voss, follow New Rockstars, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, bye.